B54, hello and welcome to my second video on competitive cards in Dirty Bomb. Thanks for the positive responses so far for the first one, and this one's going to focus on the cards in the Explosives bundle. First up, we have Fletcher. I ran Fletcher due to the merc restrictions in the first Dirty Bomb competition here in Australia, and this is the card that I went with. As I've mentioned before, I'm not a shotgun player, so the Blish Lock was really the only way to go for me. Aside from my bias towards the primary weapon, this card has a lot to offer. Lock-on allows you to detonate your stickies slightly earlier, which helps you lay your traps easier, and when you're breaching with him, enemies will have less time to react. The Empire 9 comes in handy if you're in close quarters trying to lay traps in a hallway, as if they get past your stickies, the high rate of fire on the Empire 9 makes up for where the Blish Lock falls down in short-range fights. Springy is great if you're a movement player as well, but this really comes down to practice. Finally, Failsafe is great as stickies are viable in short range, and the less damage you take for your own explosives, the better. Next up, Fragger. In the beginning, everyone loved to run the LMG on Fragger, but the meta quickly shifted to the M4. Props to my teammate Rico for realizing the M4's superiority before a lot of other people did. The LMG still packs a lot of punch, but one thing to keep in mind is that your skill with an LMG won't transfer to other weapons and mercs in this game the same way your M4 skill does. Aside from the M4, which is great at any range, the secondary is also a big damage dealer. Augment wise, Sneaky won't necessarily win you any maps, and to be honest, it just feels like filler on this card. But Focus will help you when you're aiming down the sights in mid to long range fights, which buffs the advantage you'll already have due to using the M4. The last augment, Explodydendron, gives you an extra 10% increase to the blast radius on your grenades, which helps your DPS and could potentially win you a game if your clutch nade is slightly off. Last but definitely not least, Nader. Nader is my favorite merc in the game right now. It's lots of fun to play, and has the potential to control the rounds both offensively and defensively. The Krotsny is an awesome weapon with high DPS, so having the Krotsny and a grenade launcher is a killer combo. Bigger blast increases your blast radius on the nades, which I shouldn't have to explain is a great buff for what is essentially a second primary weapon. When you're popping nades around corners, defending or breaching, that extra 10% radius could tag a player or a deployable where the stock nade might not. Failsafe is awesome in case you get rushed as it saves you from some of your own nade damage, and finally Kokar gives you a 35% increase to movement speed when aiming down the sights. This is a lot like the Stalker perk or stock attachment in Call of Duty. This will be especially useful in mid to long range fights as you'll be able to aim down the sights and strafe wider, which will give you the best chance of winning a gunfight. Thanks for watching my Dirty Bomb competition card video. If you agree or disagree with any of my choices, be sure to let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, donate, and I'll be sure to see you next time. B55.